Diana, Princess of Wales, was a member of the British royal family. She was the first wife of Charles, Prince of Wales, the heir apparent to the British throne, and mother of Prince William and Prince Harry. Diana's activism and glamour made her an international icon and earned her enduring popularity. She was born into the British nobility and grew up close to the royal family on their Sandringham estate. The youngest daughter of John Spencer, 8th Earl Spencer, and Frances Shandkid, she was strongly affected by their divorce in 1967. She did not distinguish herself academically, but was talented in music, dance, and sports. In 1978, she moved to London, where she lived with flatmates and took on various low-paying jobs. Diana came to prominence in 1981 upon her engagement to Prince Charles, the eldest son of Queen Elizabeth II, after a brief courtship. Their wedding took place at St. Paul's Cathedral in 1981 and made her Princess of Wales, a role in which she was enthusiastically received by the public. The couple had two sons, the Princes William and Harry, who were then second and third in the line of succession to the British throne. Diana's marriage to Charles, however, suffered due to their incompatibility and extramarital affairs. They separated in 1992. Soon after the breakdown of their relationship became public knowledge. The details of their marital difficulties became increasingly publicized, and the marriage ended in divorce in 1996. As Princess of Wales, Diana undertook royal duties on behalf of the Queen and represented her at functions across the Commonwealth realms. She was celebrated in the media for her unconventional approach to charity work. Her patronages initially centered on children and youth, but she later became known for her involvement with AIDS patients and campaign for the removal of landmines. She also raised awareness and advocated ways to help people affected with cancer and mental illness. As Princess, Diana was initially noted for her shyness, but her charisma and friendliness endeared her to the public and helped her reputation survive the acrimonious collapse of her marriage. Considered to be very photogenic, she was a leader of fashion in the 1980s and 1990s. Diana died in a car crash in Paris in 1997, which led to extensive public mourning and media attention. Diana Frances Spencer was born on 1 July 1961 at Park House, Sandringham, Norfolk. She was the fourth of 5 children of John Spencer, Viscount Althorp, and Frances Spencer, Viscountess Althorp. The Spencer family had been closely allied with the British royal family for several generations. Diana's grandmothers, Cynthia Spencer, Countess Spencer, and Ruth Roche, Baroness Fermoy, had served as ladies-in-waiting to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. The Spencers were hoping for a boy to carry on the family line, and no name was chosen for a week, until they settled on Diana Frances, after her mother and after Lady Diana Spencer, a many times great-aunt who was also a prospective Princess of Wales. Within the family, she was also known informally as Dutch, a reference to her duchess-like attitude in childhood. On the 30th of August 1961, Diana was baptized at St. Mary Magdalene Church, Sandringham. She grew up with 3 siblings, Sarah, Jane, and Charles. Her infant brother, John, died shortly after his birth 1 year before Diana was born. The desire for an heir added strain to the Spencers' marriage, and Lady Althorp was reportedly sent to Harley Street clinics in London to determine the cause of the problem. The experience was described as humiliating by Diana's younger brother, Charles. It was a dreadful time for my parents and probably the root of their divorce because I don't think they ever got over it. Diana grew up in Park House, situated on the Sandringham estate. The Spencers leased the house from its owner, Queen Elizabeth II. The royal family frequently holidayed at the neighbouring Sandringham house, and Diana played with the Queen's sons Prince Andrew and Prince Edward. Diana was 7 years old when her parents divorced. Her mother later began a relationship with Peter Shandkid and married him in 1969. Diana lived with her mother in London during her parents' separation in 1967. But during that year's Christmas holidays, Lord Althorp refused to let Diana return to London with Lady Althorp. Shortly afterwards he won custody of Diana with support from his former mother-in-law, Lady Fermoy. In 1976, Lord Althorp married Reine, Countess of Dartmouth. Diana's relationship with her stepmother was particularly bad. She resented Reine, whom she called a bully, and on one occasion Diana pushed her down the stairs. She later described her childhood as very unhappy and very unstable. The whole thing. Diana became known as Lady Diana after her father later inherited the title of Earl Spencer in 1975. At which point her father moved the entire family from Park House to Althorp, the Spencer seat in Norther.